Did you know that there are ancient horse breeds with legendary pasts that most people have never even heard about? These horses once roamed wild, changed history, and even carried warriors into battles that shaped entire civilizations. Yet, today, they're almost forgotten, like whispers from a time long gone. What happened to them? Why don't we talk about them anymore? Today, we're diving into the secret world of ancient horse breeds that have been lost to time, but their stories? Still as wild as ever. Let's start this journey back to where it all began when horses weren't just animals. They were the heartbeat of empires. The first horse on our list is the Tarpan. Imagine Europe thousands of years ago, when wild horses roamed free through vast forests and open plains. The Tarpan was one of those wild creatures, an untamed, raw version of the modern horse. These guys were small but fierce, with rugged builds designed for survival. They didn't need stables, saddles, or even humans to take care of them. They were nature's warriors, thriving in the harshest conditions. Now here's the crazy part. They're gone. Poof! Extinct by the late 1800s. They weren't domesticated like most other horses. So, what happened? Well, overhunting and habitat loss, typical human intervention, sadly wiped them out. But guess what? There are a few breeds today that carry the bloodline of the Tarpan. It's like a ghost from the past still living on. If you've never heard of them, you're not alone. People don't talk about the Tarpan much, but they were the original European wild horses, and their legacy is still hanging on by a thread. Next up, let's talk about Przewalski's horse, a name that sounds almost as wild as the animal itself. These horses are considered the last truly wild horse species. Not semi-wild, not domesticated, fully wild. And they've been on this planet for about 20,000 years. Think about that. These guys outlasted empires, plagues, and even the Ice Age. They survived everything nature threw at them. Here's the mystery. For a while, people thought they were extinct. Yep, like the Tarpan. In fact, they disappeared from the wild in the mid-20th century, and it looked like they'd be lost forever. But then, boom, a small group was found in captivity. Conservationists started breeding them, and now they're being reintroduced into the wild. Talk about a comeback story. These horses are like time travelers from another era, a living connection to our ancient past. If you've never heard of Przewalski's horse, now you know. Their story is still unfolding, and it's a wild one. Now, if you want to talk about mystery, you've got to hear about the Sorraia. These horses are like the Iberian Peninsula's best-kept secret. For centuries, they lived in the wild, hidden in the marshlands of Portugal and Spain. Some people think they're the ancestors of the famous Andalusian horse, which, by the way, is the breed you often see in fancy dressage competitions today. But what makes the Sorraia special? They've got these unique zebra-like markings on their legs, which makes you wonder, could these horses have some deep evolutionary link to their ancient cousins in Africa? It's one of those questions scientists still debate. What we do know is that the Sorraia is one of the oldest breeds in Europe, and they're on the brink of extinction today. There are only a few hundred left. Imagine that. A horse with thousands of years of history could disappear in our lifetime. It's like watching history fade away in real time. Crazy, right? All right, this next breed, total royalty. Meet the Nisean horse, once hailed as the greatest war horse in the ancient world. We're talking about horses bred by Persian kings to carry their armies into battle. These horses were massive, fast, and fearless. They had the strength to charge through battlefields and the stamina to keep going for miles. The Nisean horse was so famous that even Alexander the Great rode one into battle. That's right, one of the most legendary conquerors of all time trusted his life to this breed. But here's where it gets mysterious. They're gone. There are no purebred Nisean horses left today. What happened? Some say they were crossbred out of existence. Others say they simply faded with the fall of the Persian Empire. Either way, their legacy lives on in the stories of warriors and kings. It's wild to think these horses, once so powerful, are now just a memory. Now let's talk about the modern-day Endlings, the last of their kind. We've got breeds like the Caspian horse, a small breed from Iran that dates back thousands of years, but is hanging on by a thread today. Only a few hundred remain, and they could disappear in the next few decades if we're not careful. It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. These horses have survived for centuries, and now, because of human neglect or environmental changes, they're on the verge of extinction. But there's still hope. Conservation efforts are being made, and with enough attention, we can save these ancient breeds before they vanish completely. So, what do you think? Ancient horses like the Tarpan, Przewalski's horse, the Sorraia, the Nisean, and even the Caspian have shaped human history in ways we can barely imagine. They've been warriors, survivors, companions, and symbols of power. And yet, their stories are often overlooked. These horses aren't just legends, they're real, and some of them still walk among us, barely holding on to their place in history. If we don't pay attention, they could disappear forever. So, let's make sure that doesn't happen. If you want to help, learn more about conservation efforts, support wildlife foundations, or even just share this video. Let's keep these ancient legends alive. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more wild stories from the animal kingdom.